We're going to chat about our puppies, chat about some of the guys that just got here, tell you a little bit about them. We've got quite a few to chat about, so let me give you the list of what's going to be in the puppy showcase. This one first. This is Holly, and she is a Pembroke Welsh Corgi. And as you notice, I have my Corgi Christmas shirt on, especially in her honor. But aside from her, we have Golden Retrievers, the English cream kind, or the white ones. What else is going to be in the showcase? We have Westies, Frenchies, Yorkie, Shih Tzu, Cairn Terrier. We have a Coton, a Havanese, and a Dachshund. That's what we're going to talk about today. Let me give you just a quickie for next week too. I usually throw that in the middle, but we're not going to do a middle. So what we will have available, and it's also on the website too. You will find in the future litters page of the website the guys that are going to come in, so you'll see them listed there as well. So what's going to be here next week, if you're interested, it's going to be a Morkie, Pouchon, and another Yorkie. That's this one, the Yorkie that will be in next week is a chocolate and tan Yorkie. And then we have a Poodle, a Beagle. If you don't know what a Beagle is, it's a Bulldog cross. We'll talk about that next week as well. We have a Schnauzer, a incredibly unusual Schnauzer. She is Blue Merle in color. Never seen a Blue Merle Schnauzer, but you're going to hear. Nice looking little pup. And that's next week. So we also have a Cavapoo and a Maltese. So with that, we will head up to our first play area and talk about little Miss Holly and her friends. So, what we have in here, the Corgi, which is the one I was holding, that is Holly, that's a Pembroke Welsh Corgi. The two white ones bouncing around, these are Golden Retrievers, and these are what's called English Cream. And that is Loomis and Penny. Hey, Graceful, come here, come here. So these are our Goldens. This is brother and sister, and they are just having a heyday here. I'm sure they're not going to sit still. These are regular sized Golden Retrievers. They are registered Golden Retrievers. We're going to get to you in a minute. These are regular Golden Retrievers. These are what we call, like I said, the English Cream. So this is a white version of the Golden Retriever. And normal size, 60, 70 pounds on these guys. This is our female. She is actually bigger than her brother. But sometimes you can get that. Normally the males go heavier, but she's probably going to. She's not giving that toy up for nothing. But anyway, so of course your Golden Retriever is a shedding dog. And they will get a double coat. This is just a single coat at the moment. This is their puppy coat. But they will, when they turn into adults, they will get a double coat. They have a very soft down undercoat and a longer guard hair coat, and it's intended to be like a raincoat, basically. You know, it also protects them from the elements. The elements could be the sun. It also helps to keep them warm in the winter. And these guys, you know, being golden, listen, being Golden Retrievers, they definitely love to be outside. So I will let you look like, come here, I'll get your brother, come here. So, awesome family dogs, like any Golden Retriever. These guys are super loyal, very devoted to their family. You know, if you don't mind a bigger dog, you know, definitely not a dog for an apartment. You know, if you have a small house, a small backyard, you can make that work. But if you are in an apartment, definitely don't want a 60, 70 pound dog in there. That's really not the best situation for them. So keep that in mind. You know, some of you, we do deal with a fair amount of younger folk that, you know, getting out on their own and stuff like that. And, you know, this just isn't the best dog for that type of setting. But other than that, I mean, you know, if you had an area where you could get them out to exercise, maybe the apartment complex has an exercise area. If you're lucky enough to have something like that, you might be able to make it work. But if you don't, I would say, you know, be careful with that. This is probably a little bit too big. Maybe if you want the Golden Retriever stuff, maybe you'd be better off to go with like one of the mini Golden Doodles or something like that. So So that is a little bit about our golden retrievers. These guys will post too, by the way. Well, his post is already up, but his post isn't up yet, but it will be tomorrow. We do pictures and videos tomorrow, so you'll get to see them on the website. Now, for those of you just joining, again, you are watching Friday Night Live at Your New Puppy, and this is our puppy showcase. We just talked about the different pups that we have available. We are actually located in Cincinnati, so if you are local, you're certainly welcome to swing by. These are the play areas. We'll get you out and let you interact with these guys and play with them and stuff like that. And if if you're not local to Cincinnati, keep in mind we are able to deliver dogs also. We have a ground team that does a fantastic job of getting these guys to you in a very timely fashion, actually. They can be halfway across the state in a matter of a day. So keep that in mind. If you want more details on that, we will be able to provide that. Just give us a call. So this is our little Pembroke Welsh Corgi, very typical Corgi, red and white. Of course, they come black tri as well. I have seen blue merles in these guys. Not too much though, but this is basically your standard color. Of course, this is a herding dog, and very good as a family dog. If they're herding dogs, they are good around livestock. That instinct that they have will also transfer to your family and your children. And it is very likely that they can be rounding up the kids for you as well. So keep that in mind. It's not uncommon to have herding dogs, especially if you have very, very young children. It's not uncommon for them to kind of kick into gear. Now, with your Corgi, of course, very short body. These guys are very low to the ground. They're very athletic, so don't let this body structure fool you. You do want to watch their back. Their back is an elongated back, so you do want to be careful about that. But don't let them get too heavy on you. But these guys, their legs are very muscular. They're actually very fast. They're, like I said, they're bred for herding, so and they're short to the ground, and that's actually because they were actually bred to herd cattle. In a cow, when a cow kicks, it doesn't kick straight back, it kind of kicks up and out. So if you had a Corgi that was herding, if the cow went to kick at it, it would kick over its head. So they were intentionally bred this way. Now this is a shedding dog as well. These guys, again, just like the Goldens, very, very acclimated to being outside. They love to be outside. It doesn't matter what the weather is. Even the coldest days, it does not bother these guys. They are very well suited for being outside, so it is not going to bother them whatsoever. And this little girl is available for you to come in and play with and love on, and of course take home if that's what you want. So that's a little bit about these couple. We've got 3 more pens to go, so we're going to hurry on over there.
All right, and again, the 2 big white ones are English Cream Golden Retrievers. That one there is our Pembroke Welsh Corgi. Thank you, right on cue. And then we're going to move over here to the next play area. We have a lot quieter out over here. If you guys have kiddos and you want the more spunky but a lot of sweetness, that's what we just saw. If you're kind of a empty nester or want a little bit quieter, that's what we have here. Which we can educate you guys on these guys in just a sec. If you guys want to find out more information about us, check out our website. Website's going to be yournewpuppyllc.com. If you go on there, we do have a lot of useful information. We also do have a YNP admin that does try to answer some of the questions in the comments, the one with the bulldoggy picture. On there too. And as she just referenced out to everybody, feel free to call us or direct message our page during normal business hours, and we can also answer your questions now too. But stick to social media while we're on the live. But I'll go ahead and pass it over to Mark so he can talk about these little sweethearted ones.
All right, thank you, sir. We have 3 different guys in here. The white one directly down by my feet, the white one with just the brown on her ears. That is Laurel, and she is a Coton de Toulier. The one chewing on my boots is a Shih Tzu, and that is Maribel. And then Cookie is sitting back in the corner, and she is a pure Havanese. Hi, little babies. So these guys, hi sweetie, come here. Come on out here. Very pretty little Havanese. You don't find them often in solid colors. And this one is solid chocolate, for your reference. She's not black. She does have some tan accents. You can see the little tan on her eyebrows, and that will hold. She's got a little bit of tan on her muzzle. And then we've got white tips on all 4 feet. We've got a white tip on the tail and a white chest. Other than that, she is solid chocolate all through here. Very, very pretty little girl. This is a pure Havanese, and her name is Cookie. And then this little one here, chewing on the frog or whatever this is our Coton de Tulier. And that is, let me give you her name again. I can't read it upside down. It's Laurel. And this is our Shih Tzu, and that is Maribel. So these guys are here. These guys are all very low shed dogs for starters. These are all hair dogs. Come on back up here. These are all hair dogs. So your grooming and your trimming up and things like that is the same for all of these guys. They're all going to need to be combed and out with a hard comb. And they are also will need to have, we do potty patches. You know, potty patches, these are all girls, but potty patches are going to be, I want your body. If potty patches will be down the bottom, okay? Keep this nice and short because we don't want anything getting hung up in there. These are little girls, so we do tend to keep the hair around here nice and trimmed and stuff. Keep that on the shorter side so they don't tinkle.
Hey, Mark.
If by chance, thank you, sir. If by chance we had a little boy, you would always do his belly, okay, because he will tinkle on that. So that's what we call potty patch trims. And you can do that at home, very easy to do. Just get a nice pair of grooming scissors and, you know, you can trim them up. You can also trim around their face, around their eyes a little bit. When you're trimming them and working with them, you do want to condition them. We always tell you about that. Conditioning them is getting them used to what you want to do. Getting them used to being held or restrained. Typically, I would not do it on the floor. I usually throw them up on the kitchen counter for me to do them. But my guys know, you know, as soon as they go up on the counter, you know, it's time to get something done. We go and do what we need to do, trimming them up, and then, you know, set them back down on the ground. I give them a little pat on the bottom, and they're good to go. So Michael gave me a hard comb. This is what you want to use on all these guys. This is what gets down to the skin and combs through these very nicely, keeps them mat-free. These guys have already been done. They're cleaned up and combed out, so no snags here right now. But do this and this for all 3 of them. Do this on a regular basis. Regular being about every 2 or 3 days. I wouldn't go any longer than that. So with these little guys, now these guys, you're going to be, these 2 are pretty close in size of what they're going to be. The Coton, who's just playing with all the toys, she's going to be just a little bit bigger. She's going to probably go 14 to 16. These 2 are in the 12 to 14 range, so just a little bit smaller. Now the Coton, the Havanese are both pretty decent when it comes to allergies. The pure Shih Tzu is just okay, and that would be if you have dog-specific allergies. So the Coton should have a little bit of a wave to their coat. The Havanese definitely has a little bit of a wave. Shih Tzu is straight, as you can see, so very straight coat. Everybody's looking at me. You guys want to look at the camera? So with these little guys, typically, and this is a little bit, I don't want to say rowdy because that would be incorrect. Cotons are usually pretty chill. This one is a little bit more outgoing. She is very social and stuff, which is really nice. But super social, super happy little puppy, and you know, would probably fit. Normally, we tell you with Cotons, we usually tell you to young kids, you know, real little kids, loud and stuff. Typically, don't go well with the Coton breed. This is more of an empty nester dog. Her herself, because she has her own personality, she would probably be okay with it. I actually think she's, like I said, she's been a more active level for a Coton. Definitely not hyperactive by any stretch of the misunderstand me. Just by breed standard, she's a little bit more, like I say, playful and outgoing and things like that. So if you like the Coton breed and just wanted something with a little bit more giddy up to them, this little one would probably work quite nicely for you. Havanese, I love Havanese. They are so adaptable to so many different environments, situations, things like that. This one, I just think she's just stunning because of her markings and stuff. Like I pointed out, you know, we got white tips on the feet, we got a white tip on the tail. She's got a beautiful face and stuff, very pretty brown eyes. Havanese fit very well into a lot of different family styles. Typically a quieter dog from the barking standpoint normally, but any dog can be wound up if you want them to be. You know, if you kind of get them super excited when you come home and things like that. So, but yeah, nice little baby, the little Shih Tzu. Hi, honey, how are you? Hi, you coming to see me? Our little Shih Tzu, let me get her up here real quick, just for a second. Little Shih Tzu, one thing we always say, watch their face. When I say watch, I mean be aware that she has a short nose, and that is a breed characteristic for these guys, to have that short kind of muzzle. Now, it's November, it's cold outside, not much issue as far as breathing concerns. But when we get into summertime, any of your short muzzle breeds, we always caution you to not go out in the middle of the day. You know, if it's July and it's super hot or super humid, it's very hard for these short-nosed breeds to breathe. They don't breathe very well in conditions like that. So do your walks with a short-nosed dog. Do your walks early in the morning, and the rest of the day probably keep them in the air conditioning. So that is a little bit about these three. We've got 2 more to go.
All right, and while we're moving over here, again, that was our Shih Tzu, Coton de Toulier, and also our Havanese as well. Sorry about the tech issues there. We got a couple guys wrestling. So we went from a lot bouncier dogs to then calmer dogs to then some more bouncy dogs. But these guys are in a small package. I would call this the tiny and mighty pen. But Mark, we'll get to these guys in just a sec. You like the tiny and mighty comment.
That's funny.
But he'll get to these guys in just a sec. If you guys want to find out more information about us, check out our website. Website's going to be yournewpuppyllc.com. If you guys go on there, we do have a lot of useful information that'll help you out. Or, as always, you guys can just call us during normal business hours. Tomorrow we're open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Or you can direct message our page after the live. And while Mark's been in here, if you notice, they're all now acting a little bit more behaved, minus chewing on his shoes. But he'll go ahead and talk about these guys in just a sec.
All right, so 2 French Bulldogs right there. So this one, that's Lily. And then this one, and I'm going to talk about their colors in a minute. This little boy is Maddox. Paxton is our Cairn Terrier, which is this one, tearing around being a typical Cairn Terrier. And then we have our Westie, and that is Sugar. And that is a West Highland White Terrier, or Westie for short. All right. Tiny and mighty, that pretty much describes this pen. So, all right, we'll talk about these two because they're cousins, basically the same dog. Cairn Terrier, West Highland White Terrier, or Westie. This is just Cairn. A little fun fact, if you didn't know it, Cairn Terrier in the cream color version, because these come in different colors, but the Cairn Terrier in the cream color version is actually Toto on The Wizard of Oz. I'm sure a lot of you know that. That's not a big fun fact, but if you didn't know it, you do now. So Toto was a Cairn Terrier. So let me get you back over here, little Miss Westie. All right, so the Cairn is a male, and she's going to go back over there. Hey, Cairn is a male, the Westie is a female. These guys are, like I said, our cousins, and Westies, Cairns, Scotties, all very closely related. They are all from regions of Scotland, and basically same purpose back in the day. They were meant to do rodents and things like that, getting mice and rats out of the barn and stuff like that. That's what terriers typically do. With these guys, with a terrier and working with these guys, you do want to be careful because these guys are a little headstrong and they can be a little stubborn. This is not, terriers typically are not the dog for a novice owner. But if you're a seasoned owner and know how to work with dogs and handle dogs, you'll do all right with a terrier. You shouldn't have any issues. If you are a novice, is the first dog you ever owned, something like that, and I'm not saying you can't get them, but saying you need to be careful. I would do some research. I would also probably recommend puppy classes for you. Puppy classes are great. You're gonna jump right out of the pen. Puppy classes are great because they teach you how to communicate to the dog, and they teach the dog basic commands and basic disciplines, but it tells you kind of how to work with the dog, which is very important with these guys. They're great dogs, don't get me wrong. Terriers, I'm like terriers because they're kind of feisty, they're a little sassy. So I'm kind of fond of that kind of dog. But you do need to know just how to work with them, that's all, Now, both of these guys, the Westie and the Karen, are actually very low shed dogs. These guys will need to be groomed. There is a Westie cut that they do. She's not in it at the moment. You may like it, you may not. I don't personally like the Westie cut, and that's okay. It's just personal preference. But you can do it however you want. But you do need to groom these guys. Their hair does grow, but and you gotta deal with that. Now it's kind of it's a harsh coat. This is kind of it's soft, but it's not like super soft like the little poodle mixes and stuff that we do. With these guys, comb them out. You're not going to get too much matting with these guys. Either of these, comb these guys out, and you'll be okay. Being outside, these guys love to be outside as well. They're terriers, of course. So being outside, even in the winter, is really good, and they enjoy it. It's mentally stimulating for a dog to be outside like that, running around, chasing leaves, doing things. Very good for this type of breed. Now the two Frenchies, let me get them over here. I want to talk about these guys because we've got some very pretty color here. Come here, bud. Come here, bud. All right, so this is Lily, okay, and Lily is what we call a lilac merle, okay. Lilac is going to have a little bit of a purple hue to it, and that would be normal. And merle is just this broken pattern of colors, so she's actually what we call a lilac merle. And then this is our little boy. This is Maddox. He is actually a blue fawn. Okay, so he's fawn, but his coat has a blue tint to it. And if you look at his face and his muzzle, this is actually blue in color as well. It's not black, which is typical for your Frenchies. Blue fawn male and a lilac merle female. So a little bit of variety, some different color for you. Now Frenchies, of course, if you know anything about Frenchies, they're lots of fun. Silly and goofy and big little clowns. They love to play. They're athletic. They love to run around and stuff. Being outside, they'll be okay to go outside. Don't chew on your friend there. They'll be okay to go outside and to, do their business, whatnot. If you're going to go do walks or whatever, these guys will get cold. You're definitely going to need some sweaters on these little babies to do that. But Frenchies are great dogs. Again, short and muzzle. We talked about it in the last pen. So short and muzzle, you do have to watch these guys. Now both of these guys, he actually had his nose done, what we call stenotic nares, and his nose was a little bit pinched. That would be this area right here. It was a little bit pinched. So they took and clipped that off so that he's got a little bit freer air movement for breathing and stuff. So his nose has already been done. Hers actually doesn't need it. Hers is pretty decent. If she's stenotic, it's very mild. So I don't know that I would even worry about doing that. But we did do his. It is noted, and there is vet paperwork to document that, of course, in his folder. And we do have, for all these guys, we do have a folder for everybody that tells you like everything that's going on with these dogs. So it's got their shot information. It has the breeder information. We're very transparent about where they come from. So we will provide for you the breeder's name and address. We provide for you the breeder's license numbers as they apply. It could be just a USDA number. It could be Ohio numbers. Depends on what state the breeder's actually from. Every state's a little bit different, but like in Ohio, you're gonna have Ohio breeding numbers, you're gonna have your USDA number. If it's somebody from Indiana or Michigan or whatever, they would have a USDA number as well. We only deal with licensed facilities that are inspected, so that we know, and we do go through facilities periodically. And even the out-of-state ones, people are gonna be like, yeah, you're right, you drive all over the country. No, I don't, but our drivers do. So when the drivers go to pick up puppies from breeders, one thing a driver is actually trained to do is look around the kennel. So we do keep eyes on these kennels. Just wanted to throw that out, that these don't just come from anywhere. They do come from reliable and very good quality sources. So with your Frenchie, like I said, it's going to be a shedding dog. So luckily with this color of hair, it's gonna pretty much blend in. It's pretty neutral. So it's pretty much gonna blend in with most things. So you shouldn't have too much trouble. And of course, they're smaller in size. Frenchies are only in that 20, 20 is on the light side for a Frenchie, but 22 to 28, sometimes 30 on a male. 22 to 28 is a typical Frenchie range. So small, they're muscular, so they're a little more compact. But if you're looking, we've got some very, very pretty French Bulldogs here for you. Look real nice under the Christmas tree. And we're going to talk about Christmas in our last playpen. And we have one more to go, so we're going to step over there.
All right, and again, that's our two French Bulldogs and our West Highland Terrier, Westie for short. We also had a Cairn Terrier that we put up just a little bit earlier. Now, Mark will get talking about these guys in just a sec. I've been given a name to all the pens. I would say this is Sweet and Sassy pen, but he'll talk about these guys, just how they're sweet and how they're a little bit sassy in just a minute here. If you guys want to find out more about us, please check out our website. Website's going to be yournewpuppyllc.com. If you guys go on there, there is a lot of useful information. We do have a future litters page, a delivery page, an about us page, so you can just kind of find out. If you guys do have questions we're unable to get to during the live, we do have an admin, the YNP admin with the Bulldoggy picture that's trying to get to some of the questions. Feel free to call us during normal business hours. Numbers on the website. Yournewpuppyllc.com is that site. I'll go ahead and pass it over to Mark so he can talk about these two.
All right, two left to talk about, and I am going to talk about Christmas a little bit. I wanted to talk about it earlier, and I actually just kind of forgot. But anyway, so Bertie, B-E-R-T-I-E, Bertie. That is our mini dachshund, and that is the black and white piebald. And then the one rolling on our back, that is our little Yorkshire Terrier, and that is Matilda, and she's just really being a camera. She's like soaking it up, like, look at me. Yeah. So, all right, so let's talk about these guys and talk about Christmas. We talked about Christmas last week. We're going to talk about all the way up to Christmas. So, Christmas puppies and stuff like that. Anybody knows me, I've been in this business for a very, very long time. Anybody knows me knows that I don't actually like the Christmas Day puppy. Too many things go on, too many things can happen, playtime for a puppy of this age, these are just 10-week-old dogs. So playtime for a puppy of this age is really 20 minutes, 30 minutes max, and then you need to put them up for a nap. It's kind of like a little baby. What happens during Christmas? Christmas is chaotic, it's hectic. You've got people over, the kids are wound up and, looking at all their toys and they want to play. And all of a sudden, hours and hours have gone by, and this little guy is still out playing. So eventually you put him up for a nap, and the puppy goes up for a nap, and all of a sudden starts shaking because his blood sugar is too low, and that's because you didn't let them rest enough or appropriate times. That is also because they didn't eat frequently, which these guys have to do. They need to eat all the time, and they should actually rest at least 20 hours a day. Okay, so when you waver away from that, and when you're dealing with a very young dog like this, they don't have a lot of body reserves. It is very easy, and I'm not even joking. Within hours, you can run them down to a sugar level of 50, 30. you know, whatever, which is way, way too low. They will literally, they'll be lethargic, you know, they're not getting up, and there's nothing you can do at the house to snap them out of that, which means you're going to the emergency room to spend about $2,000 to get these guys back to shape. So please, I really beg you, if you want to do the Christmas Day puppy, be responsible about it. It's not something to play with. The alternate, and what I like to do and what I like to tell people to do, I think it's the best way. We offer a layaway for Christmas. We offer a layaway year round, but a lot of people will use it at Christmas. So come in, get the dog, put it in layaway, leave it here. Buy all of its supplies and toys and beds and things like that, and you can take a picture of it and print that picture off and wrap that stuff up for the kids and let them open the box of toys, and then tell them, because we're closed Christmas Day, of course, but we'll be open on the 26th. So come back on the 26th and get them. At that point, the house is quiet. It's quiet and it's calmer and it's safer. That is really a really good alternative to bringing home that Christmas Day puppy and avoiding a very expensive vet bill, with low blood sugar, because it's avoidable. It really is. Hypoglycemia is not a disease. It is not a issue with the dog as from a perspective of bad breeding or something like that. Hypoglycemia is simply a result of one of three things, or a combination of the three things, and I mentioned them earlier. That's not enough sleep, that's too much play, overexertion, and that's not enough food. That can all be avoided. So anyway, my little soapbox is done. Please, if you have questions about that, like I said, give us a call. We're happy to talk about it. We're happy to sell you our dogs, but we want them to be safe. It's very important to us that these guys be safe.
Hey, Mark, real quick, small interruption here. One, I just wanted to throw out there, too, to add what you say. Even though we are closed on most of the major holidays, we still do have somebody come in and take care of the animals. We're just closed to the public.
Oh, yeah.
And then the other part that I was going to say, we did have somebody ask if we had any corgis. Well, if you guys actually rewind the live back on Instagram, back to the first playpen, we had a couple English cream golden retrievers and a female red and white corgi that was running around playing. If you do want to find more information out, just direct message our page after the live, or call us tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we can get you more info. But I'll go ahead and pass it back over to you, Mark, so you can continue talking. You got on a very good topic about the importance of Christmas puppies, because it's very seasonal relevant. So.
Yeah, if you guys, even though we're closed on Christmas, we do have people that still come in and take care of these guys, as Michael said. We don't just leave them here, one of the squad, paw squad, what we call them, any major holiday, they kind of alternate holidays. So somebody does come in, they get them out, let them run and play, and they get their playtime, and they do, papers and food and water and all that kind of stuff. So even though we're closed to the public, we do still tend to these guys. Excellent point, Michael, on that one. So this is our little Yorkie, okay, Yorkshire Terrier. She's a little non-traditional in her color pattern. And I say that loosely because it's still black and tan. Her head is very brown. Her dad is actually a party Yorkie. He's a black and white party. And, so he's throwing a little bit different coloration to her. She's still black. This is still definitely black. Just her tan accents are very accented. She has a lot of tan. But very pretty, very nice. So Yorkshire Terrier. This one is a
Dachshund.
Yeah, what is this? I don't
Wiener
know.
dog, Dachshund, Dachshund.
I couldn't get it out of my mouth.
It's good.
Heavens.
Everybody,
Yeah.
It's been one of those days for us.
Yeah.
The holidays just kind of wear you out. That's been one of the days for us.
Yeah, pretty much.
Y&P behind the scenes.
So a Dachshund is what this is. So this one and this one, Dachshunds are known to be a little stubborn. Yorkshire Terriers are known to be a little stubborn. They do have a kind of Yorkies especially do have a very independent level of way they think. Very independent kind of dogs. Dachshunds aren't quite so independent. They're just stubborn just because they like to be stubborn. But you can work with that. These are not impossible to train, both of these guys. You can work with that and you know, just be consistent in your training method with them. Now, the Yorkie is a very low shed. You really don't find any stray hairs. The Dachshund will shed. Luckily, it's a short coat, and we don't have, because we're only going to be about, you know, 16 pounds at mature weight here. The little Yorkie's going to be in the 8 to 10 pound range. So we're talking mini munchkins here for the most part. But nice little puppies. This color pattern, this is called piebald on her. Piebald means two colors. Typically, she does have a little bit of tan in it, but it's very diluted down. And this pattern can be, every piebald is different. They don't all look the same. So this is a what we call a broken pattern, or it's not consistent from dog to dog. But in this case, we're black and white. You can get piebalds in red and white, brown and white, whatever. White is a typical of them, but the other color can be a variable of a number of things. She does have some pretty little tan eyebrows as well, so she does have some nice tan accents too. So yeah, if you guys are interested in these little babes, definitely come on in. We are open 7 days a week, and you know, you'll see these guys on the website. Use our website, go to our future litters page if you want to see what's coming in later down the road. So I'm going to step out with these two little kiddos, and we'll wrap this up real quick.
All right, and again, that's our mini Dachshund or Wiener Dog and Yorkshire Terrier. And Mark, you also have some comments. They love your shirt. I also love his shirt. So that's staff favorite shirt right there. But Mark will go ahead and wrap us out here.
Well, we had a corgi. If you missed it, like Michael said, we do have an actual real corgi here. So this is a corgi Christmas shirt. So I thought, why not? Of course, makes sense to me. So anyway, let me give you a list again of what we will have next week that we'll be talking about. Morkie, Maltese Yorkie. We have another Yorkie, but this one is black and tan, and then the Yorkie that's coming in is a female. This is a female too. The Yorkie that's coming in is a female, but she is chocolate and tan. So very pretty little girl. We have Poodle, we have a Beabull. A Beabull is a Bulldog cross. We'll talk about her next week. We have a Pouchon, a Schnauzer, and I mentioned the Schnauzer, unbelievable Schnauzer. Blue Merle Schnauzer, registered Schnauzer. Absolutely stunning color. She's drop dead gorgeous. She's got her ears done. She's got her Schnauzer cut rolling. I mean, just, it's the first time I've actually seen a Blue Merle. So she's actually something I'm pretty excited to get her in here, because you guys will love. If you're a Schnauzer person, you're gonna love her. We have a Cavapoo for next week and a Maltese as well. So I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving yesterday. No matter how you spent it, what you did, I hope it was a good day for you. And coming into the holiday season, I want to just mention that we do offer layaway for our dogs. You can come in, put a deposit down on them, pick them up later in the month. You know, if you want to do the Christmas puppy or whatever, we talked about that as well. And the staff is more than happy to talk to you about Christmas Day puppies too. But I don't know any other store that does a layaway. We do, where we keep them here, we take care of them for you and stuff like that. So we do have that to offer. We do it all year round. Summertime they use it for vacations and stuff, but Christmas time, of course, they use it for Christmas. You know, if you're going out of town, you know, you're going out of town for Christmas, but you want this little dachshund, put her in layaway. When you come back, pick her up. So there you go. So I am Mark, and on behalf of all of us here at Your New Puppy, we want to wish you